we can say, obstacle of a conditioned soul is perception. So the perception that I am this body and I am made up of this matter, and this material world is what I am belonging to. So because of this perception, now this perception is a very general concept what we are talking, but it manifests in varieties of details in one's life, isn't it? So the basic, we can say the basic line is wrong perception in material world being the product of material nature, but it manifests in lots and lots of details in the practical day-to-day life of a person. So according to our consciousness and according to our understanding, we perceive certain things in our life. Usually it is said that we don't perceive the things as they are, but we perceive the things based on our own consciousness. That's why it is said that the world is the mirror image of our own consciousness. Prabhupada is to give example that if you wear the yellow color goggle, you will see everything yellow. Is actually everything yellow? No. But because we have worn this yellow color goggle, so we are seeing everything yellow. And if you change it and you wear green color goggle, you'll see everything green. In childhood, you remember, we used to have different color goggles. There used to be great fun in watching different things in different colors. But that is not the real perception. Real perception, the reality is different. But based on our perception, we are seeing the things according to that. So, and this so much is carried in our day-to-day life. So once upon a time, one person, he was lying. Actually, I had one cartoon of this before, but I lost it now. Maybe in future we can find it. It was a not so well made cartoon, but still it was quite innocently made, so it was quite funny to look at. One owl's cartoon was there. I don't know, he may have it. So there was one person, he was lying on the ground. So one drunkard, he passed by and he saw. And what he thought, oh, this person must have drunk a lot, it seems. That's why he is just lying. Better, I don't want to be with him. He is too much drunk. And he went away. Then after some time, one thief came and he saw this person. And he said, oh, this must be a great thief. He must have stolen some big booty. And because of which police must be chasing after him. That's why he's lying down to avoid police. Better I run away from here. Otherwise, if I'm there with him, police will catch me also. And he went away from there. Then after some time, one sage came. And he saw this person lying. He said, oh, this must be a great sage. He must be offering dandavats to Lord. So let me massage his feet. And he started massaging his feet, chanting the glories of Lord. So same person, in the same situation, was perceived by three people in three different ways, based on their own personal consciousness and based on their own personal understanding. So that's how, that is how the effect is there of our perception in our day-to-day life. Perception carry a lot. So similarly, once upon a time, once person, he was going, walking. He was walking little bit in a limping manner. So, so three scientists, they were watching him. And one scientist said, he must have got cut into his leg. That's why he's limping. And another scientist said, no, it is not possible. I am sure that he must have got polio. His parents did not give him polio vaccine. So he has got polio. That's why he's limping. And third scientist said, no. You are both are wrong. You are both are foolish. You don't understand. Actually, he has got heartbreak with his girlfriend yesterday. That's why he's not able to walk properly out of grief. And then they said, they started arguing amongst themselves. No, this is the reality. This is the reality. This is the reality. And at last they said, oh, they're about to even beat each other. And then finally, they said, okay, let us talk to that person. Why is limping like this? Why is walking in an awkward way? And they asked the person that why he's walking in an awkward way. Why are you walking in an awkward way? Person said, my chappal is broken. मेरा चप्पल टूट गया इसलिए. So we see that how we perceive things based on our own understanding many times in life. And one may say why it is that we are studying this, because it causes a great impact on what we do, how we think, how we feel, and what steps we take in our life. It has very, very great impact. So that's why now what guides our perceptions in our life, what directs, what makes our perception is life? Experiences, what experiences we have got in our life. Then what samskaras we have got from our parents and our school, and what type of upbringing we have, or what type of past life we have. So based on that, we are developing different perceptions in our life, isn't it? So we see it has got such an effect in our behavior. It, in general, these all perceptions together form what we call as nature, swabhav of a person, right? And based on that, we develop our likings, dislikings, and our typical behavior. So those days, I remember there was one devotee in our temple, Kunji days. So, Rayasham Pro used to sometimes chastise devotees. But this person could not take any chastisement. If Rayasham Pro chastised him ever, he would become extremely disturbed. And Rayasham Pro said, why you are like this so much? You are so overly sensitive. We are having like one family, we are staying here. I just chastise you sometimes, for your mistakes. Why are you becoming so much disturbed because of that? And then one day he revealed, Prabhuji, I am coming from a broken family. I always seen my mother and father fighting like anything. And especially I seen my father, he was abusing my mother like anything. He was shouting on my mother every day. Now mother is separate, father is separate, they are not staying together. And I was grown in that way, seeing that, so whenever, I used to see that my father used to shout on my mother like anything, sometimes he used to beat her, and he used to be very cruel with her, although we were quite rich. So because of that, now because since childhood I have seen this, I had developed such an allergy for somebody even raises his voice little bit, I immediately become very disturbed. I cannot tolerate raising of the voice. And then Raisham understood, oh, that is the reason this person was brought up. So his perception is that somebody who is raising the voice means he must be chastising. He must be very angry and he hates me because he has seen his father, he is behaving hatefully with his mother. So he developed that perception that, so he used to like Maharaj very much, Chowpatty, because Maharaj used to very soft. How are you? I am your servant. Maharaj would talk, so he would like that very much. But then here, Prabhuji doesn't talk in that way, right? Prabhuji is quite straightforward. so, so then he used to have a lot of disturbance in his mind. So his perception is that if somebody is raising voice means he hates me, like that, or he is like wants to abuse me. That was his concept. So this is how perceptions develop. Perception have a lot of how we behave. Any other example? Can you say? In our life also we can see ourselves. If you are not shy and if you feel can open from your own life also. What is certain perception which you carry many times? It has become like a perception. It is this way.
Maybe like from friend circle where everybody talks a lot. Very from that. But if you I find someone who is not very open, talk, talk with. So I will get he doesn't like me or he is something grudge.
Yes, very nice example. He's telling that sometimes we are coming from a friend's background or parents' background wherein a lot of talkative nature is there. So, in devotee circle, actually this perception inevitably we carry in devotional service also, in spiritual life also. Now in devotee circle, we are told don't do prajalpa. So sometimes some devotees may be silent by nature, or they may be, this thing, they may not be very talkative. So what perception we develop? Oh, he doesn't like me. Because our understanding of somebody friendly or somebody liking means what? He should be talking with me every now and then. Then only he is friendly. Then only he likes me. If he doesn't talk with me, means he doesn't like me. You know, that's what perception. Very nice example. Any other example? Anybody would like to give?
From scriptures.
From scriptures also. Okay.
Duryodhana had a perception like he wanted to have the kingdom, and also about Bhima. So he was envious about Pandavas and he wanted kingdom. So he is also used to think that they want it.
He was so insecure that he was thinking that they want kingdom from me. If Pandavas come in rule, what will happen? They will push me down, because his mentality was like that. If Pandavas become powerful, then I will be simply like a servant, like a slave for them. Whereas Pandavas had no such intentions. Just imagine if Pandavas had really become the kings. Is it that they would have treated Duryodhan like a slave? No, they would have treated him like a brother. But Duryodhan had that type of mentality. So he was, he was thinking like that, in that terms, that Pandavas also must be thinking that way. Yes, nice example. Yashwant Prabhu?
Like initially, when someone comes to Krishna consciousness, based on the dress and he is taking to the process of Krishna consciousness. But just by seeing his externals, like he is very much like we are assuming that he is completely. But he's in the process. I don't know. We develop perception that this person is.
Yeah, by seeing dress, sometimes we develop perception that he's not so serious devotee.
We don't know. Like,
He's little dila dala person. Like that.
Yeah, subordinates having the perception of authority. Example like Ramayana, the villagers villagers having perception of the God Ramchandra. He is like that only. He is getting Sita Devi.
Who was having perception?
Villagers after the
Sita was brought back.
Lakshman. You want to
Sita mind polluted.
No, you are giving so many. I'm not understanding. Who is having perception about Ram?
Washerman who blamed Sita.
Acha. Okay. That people in the Ayodhya, they had some perception about Ram. That's just see, his wife has stayed here and he has accepted. About Sita, basically, that she has stayed, she must be impure. She has stayed in some another man's home for 10 months. They couldn't understand her. Sita is what? Sita is Sakshat Lakshmi, so nobody can even touch her. There is no question of she getting ever polluted. But they develop that perception. Yes, Premikas too. Your hand is up.
Prabhuji, Indra's example. Indra feels whoever does tapasya is for his favor only.
Good example. Indra's example is telling anybody does tapasya, Indra feels that he is coming to take my throne only. He is coming to take my throne. उसके लिए तपस्या करा है. Prithu Maharaj had no intentions. He is better than Indra also. But he had this perception that maybe Indra will come and this Prithu Maharaj will come and take my post. My post is going to go. Isn't it? Very nice.
Prahlad Maharaj, we thought Prahlad Maharaj will have some demon.
Even the demigods thought that Prahlad Maharaj is also going, the child in the womb of Kayadu, he is also going to be a demon. Like that. So, like this we see, so many perceptions are there, in our life. If we carefully analyze, all of us do carry that different perception in our life, that like, if somebody has been tortured in college days like anything, by friends, then what he feels? Any new person he meets, he says, no, I don't want to meet him. And why you don't want to meet him? Any new person? No, he will abuse me, he will torture me, he will talk ill about me, he will trouble me, like that concept he develops. And one may say, no, but he's a very good person, he's a very friendly person, he loves you, he wants to make friendship with you. No, like that. So I don't want. Person becomes very afraid, fearful of meeting new person. So in this way, we see that there are, there are scripture examples. Huh? Ajay Pro, you want to say something?
No, project.
So in this way, we see that in our life, actually, we may take scriptural examples, but in our own life, we can analyze so many perceptions. What they are doing, they are causing a block in our life. They are blocking certain things. That is called as mental blocks. Like one example I gave now. Because of this, there is a mental block created in this person that he cannot approach only any new person. He feels very much, So now if he is given preaching service, what will happen? Oh, no, I can't talk to any person. Because, maybe he'll dislike me. He cannot understand me. He will abuse me. He will make fun of me. He will tease me. Isn't it? And in this way, person becomes very cowardly. Like that. So why we may discuss these kind of things? Because these perceptions are a very important portion in our life. Because these perceptions lead to offenses sometimes. Like Gadadhar Pandit developed offenses, little offensive mentality towards Pundarik Vidyadhar by seeing his opulences. He thought that, oh, he's such a rich man, he's a Vishay. He thought a rich man means Vishay. Devotee means he should be renunciate. But he did not understand that internal renunciation was so great. He had such a amount of this thing. Similarly, when one Babaji, he saw Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He saw Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in a dress of magistrate. He said, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, what kind of Vaishnava are you? Where is your tilak? Where is your kantimala? Where is your bead bag? How you can say that you are a Vaishnava? That time Bhaktivinoda Thakur answered, you should not judge my father. Bhaktivinoda was 7 years old, 6 or 7 years old. You should not judge my father just by externals. Just because he is not wearing tilak and kantimala and he is going to court, don't think he is an ordinary man. He is a Paramahamsa. 7-year-old Bhaktivinoda Thakur had that much wisdom to understand. He said he is a great Paramahamsa. He is associate of the Lord. Don't judge my father in this way. He told that Baba. Like that. So that Baba developed perception about Bhaktivinoda Thakur just because of some dress, isn't it? And he developed an offensive perception, isn't it? He thought, oh, he's not a Vaishnava, just because he's not a Babaji. So we see that this type of perception sometimes can lead to offenses. Also, it leads to withdrawals. What do you mean by withdrawal? We just want to withdraw from a situation. We don't want to participate in a particular situation. Like for example, suppose the same example which I gave, that if somebody has got a little allergy for new people, then he doesn't want to preach. He wants to withdraw from preaching. No, I can't preach, because people will not like me. People will hate me. People will make fun of me. So I can't preach. He wants to withdraw from that, isn't it? Or any person who is coming to Krishna consciousness also, sometimes we hear some philosophy that, of Krishna consciousness. Sometimes a devotee immediately wants to withdraw. No, this is not possible. Prabhupada is talking too much. This is not possible. This is not practical. Prabhupada is telling 24 hours, Kirtaniya Sadhari. No, this is not possible. Immediately person withdraws from that. No, I cannot do it, Baba. This is not practical. What is this 24 hours chanting? जिंदगी में क्या दूसरा कुछ करने के लिए है नहीं क्या? जिस दिन वो जप ही करते रहने का, how is it possible? It's all too much like that. So this is called as withdrawal. We don't want to enter into that. So what happens by those withdrawals? Anyways, it's a combined effect only of everything. Then it also obstructs our progress in our spiritual life. How it obstructs our progress? Because we are not ready to take a forward step in Krishna consciousness because of this perception. Like that. We are not ready to take. Just like, some person, suppose he gets an accident, severe accident, and his leg is injured. Suppose he fell off from a bike and he got a severe accident. So क्या होता है, even after he recovers, he thinks that I cannot drive the bike anymore. It is not possible. So it is very difficult now. If I drive bike, I am going to fall and I am going to be injured. So he cannot drive only bike. Most of the times his mind blocks him. Henceforth, I will not drive any bike. I will simply go walking. I will take a public transport. Same way in spiritual life also. Sometimes, one loses the confidence to such a degree that one thinks it is not possible for me to do this thing.
Distribution.
Book distribution or anything. Even in Harinam, Harinam, we go many times. Devotees have reservation that नहीं लोग क्या बोलेंगे, लोग हमारा मजाक उड़ाएंगे, ये क्या रास्ते पे ऊपर नाच रहे लोग, He has read Pula Deshpande maybe before. Pula Deshpande, he said, hey, these are not monks, these are monkeys, he said. So he thinks, oh, people will call me monkey, not a monk. So I don't want to dance on the street and all that. Devotional service should be done. We should keep our dignity in life, right? Dignity should be maintained. What is this dancing on the street? What people will think about it. So one develops a perception, it doesn't want to enter. So these perceptions inevitably many times they block our progress in spiritual life. One typical perception I have heard recently amongst the voice devotees is that I don't like to read Prabhuji. I have no habit of reading. So they don't want to read Prabhupada books. They don't want to read Prabhupada books. Because Prabhuji, I don't like to read. It's a perception. It's a kind of mental block we have created. But it forbids us from accessing such a great treasure of wisdom in our life. If we don't read Prabhupada books, we are missing a great treasure in our life. The treasure of wisdom. This is all because of our mental perception. I don't like to do this, Prabhuji. Isn't it? So it can tangibly hamper our progress in our spiritual life. It can tangibly hamper our progress in our spiritual life. Also, we neglect. This is one sense we say kind of part of offenses only. We neglect others because of certain perceptions. Isn't it? We neglect other devotees. We neglect people because of our perceptions. Oh, kya hai? Sahi hai. Like he was giving example. If somebody is dressed in a little fashionable way, what will do? Hey, he is not a candidate for being a Vaishnava. Vaishnava means he should be simple, So we start neglecting. Not a serious boy. Let us not this thing. Let us not get into him. In preaching, we develop lots of perceptions. Isn't it? And we neglect people sometimes, like crazy Peter. Isn't it? Devotees used to neglect him, thinking, it's a nuisance, nonsense fellow. He's simply a nuisance. But Prabhupada did not neglect him. Prabhupada said, no, give him chance, give him chance. And what happened? He became Kushakrita Prabhu in future, who translated. He's the biggest Sanskrit scholar and translator of Acharyas and Goswami literature. But previously, what he was? Crazy Peter. So we see that there are so many perceptions because of which we neglect people. And because of that, sometimes they lose the opportunity for progress in spiritual life. Not only in preaching, amongst devotee circle also we keep neglecting people. Or we don't want to go close to them. This is typically another thing happens in voice days also sometimes. Because we develop some perception here and there by one incidence, two incidences. So develop very strong perception. नहीं, हमको अभी इनसे दूर रहना है. दूर रहो. This person, sometimes a devotee, some person is ultra sensitive, because of which he develops such strong perception about everyone that he thinks, nobody I can associate with. Why? Because everybody is simply cruel, simply insincere, everybody is simply insensitive and all that. and then he wants to keep distance from everyone. But what is the result of that? He is not accessing the treasure of wonderful qualities and love this Vaishnava is carrying in his heart. So I can tell you one thing. Those days we are in Voice, this IIT Kharagpur preaching had also newly started, and we were also newly introduced. So we had a perception that this IIT devotees means very puffed up, very proud, and they are too much self-righteous. So we got some perception because of certain devotees here and there, and we used to always keep distance from them. नहीं, इनके पास नहीं जाना चाहिए, दूर से दंडवत करके भाग जाओ. We still had lot of perception for many years. But when I saw Revtipati Prabhu, then I said, "नहीं बाबा, IT DOT अच्छे रहते बहुत, very nice. Ratadi Prabhu, Ram Sevak Prabhu, अरे क्या wonderful devotees है. Prem Swarup Prabhu, my God, amazing devotees. What a humble soul, how amazing. Such a one of the most loved personality for Prem Swarup Prabhu." And then थोड़ा perception change हो गया, अरे ऐसा नहीं है, ये लोग भी बहुत अच्छे लोग हैं. They're not so bad, not that they're very puffed up or something like that. But we developed that perception. Because of that, we're little hesitating to associate with them. But we see that if we associate with them, they have such deep Vaishnava qualities, such loving nature. Revtipati Prabhu, kya loving nature hai, my God. He is most loved personality in our ashram, I can say. Very confidently, right? Everybody loves him so much. When he was quarantined for 17 days in this thing, he got at least 100 messages from devotees. We are missing you, Prabhuji, in ashram. Very loving personality. But then because of this perception, idea, so we miss so many treasures of spirituality in our life. Sometimes we develop perception about some preachers. No, inka class, ye acha class nahi dete. Somebody gives Bhagavatam or somebody gives class. Oh no, his class will be very heavy. Oh no, his class very technical. Oh no, his class is like boring. Same ही चीज बताते हैं, कुछ नया चीज. Because of that, we fail to associate with that Vaishnava, and we fail to collect the gems of realizations and wisdom which is very kindly, mercifully giving to us. We don't. We keep ourselves bereft of those things. We keep ourselves poverty-stricken in spiritual life because of not trying to take association. So this is how, and we develop so many likings and dislikings, and the result of all this is that first is that we are caught up into dualities of this world. I like this, I don't like this. I can do this, I can't do this. I feel like this, I don't feel like this. So these are all, we are captured into dualities of our life. I like this, I hate this. I like this person, I hate this person. He is my friend, he is my enemy. These dualities constantly torment us. And as I said before also, another effect is it makes a solid stumbling block in our spiritual progress, which is called as mental block. And we are not able to access the jewels of Krishna consciousness because of this. So after this very long analysis, I hope we are convinced that this perception creates a big troubling block. So it is very important in our life to dissolve our perceptions. It's very important in our life to dissolve. So that's why Vedas enjoin what? Vedas enjoin that one should not go by one's own perceptions, but one should learn to see the things from the eyes of scriptures, from the eyes of Guru, Sadhu and Shastra, and not from our own eyes, not from our own perceptions. As long as we keep on seeing the things based on our perceptions, till that time our progress will be blocked to different degrees. But when we learn to see the things from the scriptural point of view, from the sadhu's point of view, from spiritual master's point of view, then there will be real progress in life. There will be real progress in life. So this is a very important concept. So that's why, Shastra says, what is real knowledge? Real knowledge is to know the spirit, matter, and controller of both. This is the real knowledge. This is the Vedic injunction. So Vedas are like our lighthouse. They are our guiding lighthouse. So just like ships, if they try to go based on their own perceptions, what will happen? In the ocean, if ships keep on going based on their own perception, they will enter into danger zones, right? In the ocean, how do you understand which is north, which is east? Maybe Dhruvatara they can see, and based on that they may be able to. But they will be. There is a great chance that they will land up somewhere else in some whatever, some forbidden land, whatever, some forsaken island. They may land up there, and they may be in suffering, or they may collide with another ship. They may be going very fast, and two ships will collide with each other, isn't it? So lighthouse is so important to give direction. नहीं ऐसा नहीं जाना वैसा जाना ऐसा नहीं जाना वैसा जाना. So once upon a time one ship was going, and he saw another ship coming. There was another light coming from another ship, and the ship, that light, front ship light, he told that the message came from that ship that please turn yourself by 10-degree angle. And this ship, the ship one, original ship, he was having ego problem. He said, you are also another ship. Why should I turn? You turn yourself by 10-degree angle. I will not turn. And then from that front light, the message came, I can't turn because I am lighthouse. It is you who have to turn. You understand? I can't turn. I am a lighthouse. I am not a ship. I am a lighthouse. I can't turn myself. So you have to turn 10-degree. So this is, Vedas are like lighthouse, and we are like that ship. So we cannot turn the realities of life based on our perceptions. We have to develop our perception based on what Vedas are giving. We should not go. We should not go on based on our own perceptions. So this is the real transformation of life in Krishna consciousness, is this perception, change of this perception. When we accept this perception of Vedas or Guru and Sadhu and Shastra, that is the greatest transformation of life. And we see in our life, this transformation has happened to some degree, but some degree it is remaining. You agree with this? Some degree this transformation has happened, some degree it is remaining. Vedas, the real transformation means is transformation of perception from myself being enjoyer to being the servant of Krishna, from bhogavritti to sevavritti. This is the transformation of perception. Seeing everything for my sense enjoyment to see everything to be engaged in Krishna's service. That's what is the real transformation of the heart. So it's a transformation of perceptions. So it is very important, that's why that we develop perceptions not of our own, but we develop the viewpoint or the way of understanding things based on Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. But unfortunately, sometimes it so happens that a person, he overloads his perception on these three people also. Right? He is telling that you change. The boat is telling lighthouse that you change. You take an angle. I won't take. We sometimes put our perception on Guru. We sometimes put perception on Sadhu, and we put our perception on Shastras, and we deny them. So, once Srila Prabhupada, he told Harishori Prabhu that, Prabhupada was preaching to Harishori Prabhu that how this whole scientific advancement is, it's like not such a, great achievement. In fact, there is a lot of illusion. It's all quite illusory. Especially he was talking about this astrophysics, and Prabhupada said, actually, this the scientist attempts to go to moon is simply like a child's play. They are simply like a child. They are thinking like that. They cannot go to moon. It is not possible. It is a childish imagination. Just like in child can imagine, that I'm in the dream world. I'm like a, what do you say? bird, flying in the sky. It's simply an imagination, right? It is not true. Similarly, this is like childish play, Prabhupada said. Prabhupada said, you have read this statement in my book called Easy Journey to Other Planets? And Harish Shauri Prabhu was a little taken aback, and he conceded to Prabhupada that, Prabhupada, I don't remember, at least I'm reading this statement. I read this book, your book. Prabhupada said, okay, go and find out. Go and get the book, Easy Journey to Other Planets. So he brought the book. And Prabhupada was flipping the pages. He went through that, pages after pages, and I said, where is this statement? I had written this statement, I'm sure. I had written this statement in this book, Easy Journey to Other Planets, that the scientist attempts to go to moon is like childish play. And he said, I'm not finding. And you imagine those days there was no database that you can search, right? But hard copy he was going through again and again and again and again. But Prabhupada is very sharp. He knows what he has written where, So, and then he called, XYZ devotee. So, who was the one who had done editing those days. And he said, Prabhupada said, where is this statement? And then this devotee was taken aback, understanding that his mistake has been caught by Prabhupada. He thought that he can just pass by, he can just go by, by. And then he said, Prabhupada, actually, that statement I felt to be irrelevant, like that and this, that, maybe people will not like this statement. But very strongly chastised him, very, very strongly chastised. He said, how can you change my words? Like that. Gave very strong chastisement. And Prabhupada said, I cannot trust you anymore. You are not trustworthy. You are deleting my statements from the book. And next day in morning walk also, Prabhupada was very strongly criticizing him for changing that, omitting that statement from the book. And then Harish Shauri Prabhu, during breakfast, he happened to go to that devotee's room. That devotee was so angry on Prabhupada. He said, why Prabhupada is so angry? And Harish Shauri Prabhu, come on. He said, whose mistake it is? Harish Shauri Prabhu said, it is your mistake. He said, no, I am not at all at fault. People cannot understand. See, before going to, Prabhupada has written this Easy Journey to Other Planets book before man has reached to moon. But now man has gone to moon. And then Harish Shauri Prabhu was also strong on him. Although Harish Shauri Prabhu was once his junior, that was one of the first devotees of ISKCON. But he said, how can you say man has gone to moon? Prabhupada has very clearly told us, that man cannot go to moon. It is simply a farce. But he said, no people will accept it. They'll only believe scientists. They cannot believe Prabhupada. And Harish Shauri Prabhu said, then who cares what people believe? Today they believe something, tomorrow they believe something else. That is the way scientists' theories are always changing. So how can you just omit Prabhupada's statements because of this? Just because people will not believe. Here we are not there to please people. Here we are there to enlighten people in the real science of Krishna consciousness from the Vedic wisdom. Whom we believe? Do we believe people or do we believe Prabhupada? And Harish Shauri Prabhu was pounding on him like anything. Then left. And then this devotee must have thought whole night. Next day he came and he started crying in front of Prabhupada. And he begged forgiveness from Prabhupada. Prabhupada, please forgive. I had done a big blunder. I am omitting this statement from you. And then Prabhupada also pacified him. So, okay, all right, I accept you back, no problem. But don't do it again. He said, it's a serious mistake. If you try to edit my books in this way, if you change my books in this way, and then Prabhupada again accepted him because he was regretful. So we see that on Guru only is putting perception that no, that Prabhupada is writing something impractical. As Prabhupada is writing something on his own, or it is not proper. So we see this caused such a big damage for this devotee in his life, isn't it? So it is very important that we should not, put perceptions, but we should learn to take the statements. Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitete Kariya Aikya Arana Kariho Mane Asha. Don't try to misinterpret or put perceptions on Guru's words. We should learn to accept on our own. It is very difficult to understand spiritual master and Krishna spirituality by our own vision. So that's why we have to go back to basics. What is that? Our senses are imperfect. We have tendency to cheat. We have tendency to commit mistakes. We have tendency to be illusioned, because of which our perceptions are imperfect. Whereas the absolute truth, which is being spoken from by absolute truth himself, or Brahman, Brahma Jnana, Shabda Brahma, which is spoken by absolute truth, Supreme Lord, and coming in the disciplic succession, is the real Shabda Praman, is the real concept, you can say, or the real truth, and not the truth which we are thinking to be a truth. We have to go back to this thing again and again, actually. So that's why the progress of Krishna consciousness of a devotee constitutes, his faith. What do you mean by progress of a devotee? Means how much faith he has developed on Vedas, how much faith he has developed on spiritual master. Yasya deve para bhakti yatha deve tatha guru tasyaite katita hyartha prakashante mahatmanaha. To the degree we have developed the faith, and to the degree we accept the statements of our acharyas and Krishna to heart, to that degree the most deepest realizations and the realities will be revealed to us. People did not believe that really Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's message can go throughout the world, but there was one person who believed it. That was Srila Prabhupada. One day it so happened that Prabhupada, some god brothers of Prabhupada, they were there on the terrace, and Prabhupada heard the statement, and they were discussing. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said that, Prithvi the achayata nagaradi gram, sarvatra prachar hoibe mora naam. How is it possible? Even Indians are not taking it properly. How is it possible that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, maybe Chaitanya Mahaprabhu means Bharat. Bharat means probably India, or maybe it is only Bengal. It is not possible to, how these Mlechas and Yavanas can take to spiritual life? It is impossible. They are so unclean. They have such bad habits. Prabhupada came there. Prabhupada said, don't doubt Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's statement. Don't doubt it. I have full faith that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's statements, he says Prithvite, he doesn't says Bharate. Means whole world, in every town and village, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's name will be spread. And then Prabhupada very strongly told them, do not doubt Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's statements. And then while going, he said, one day one fool will do it. Prabhupada told them, one day some fool will do it. So that time Prabhupada had not gone to West. He was in Vanparas thought. Prabhupada said to them, so we see Prabhupada had such strong faith. So to the degree we accept, put faith in, and imbibe these statements of Guru, Sadhu, Shastra, to that degree, our faith becomes strong. To that degree, our spiritual progress is facilitated. To the degree we believe our own mind, our own perceptions, our own sensory inputs, or the temptations which we get, to that degree, our spiritual life is checked. So, and unless and until we have strong faith on the words of our spiritual perceptors, and we have love and respect for them, because we cannot have faith on a person unless and until we have love for him, isn't it? So unless and until we develop love and faith towards our preceptors, we cannot actually give Krishna consciousness to others. Our preaching will be very superficial. What was Prabhupada's biggest qualification? Unflinching faith on spiritual master, orders of spiritual master, and holy names. Yeah, that was his biggest. He had no other thing which he was carrying. He had no other asset. This was his biggest assets, and that's why Prabhupada was so successful. So to the degree we have developed that type of faith and love, to that degree actually we can preach very effectively. But to the degree we are on our own, we preach based on our own theories, of our own concepts. So that's why Prabhupada is to say that don't try to speculate. Just repeat what I am saying. Successful preacher means one who repeats the words of previous acharyas, who has strong unflinching faith on the words of acharyas, and he has love and respect for them, and that person becomes successful. Not self-styled or what you say, self-appointed upstart who wants to do some preaching. He cannot do preaching. He cannot do preaching. He can only, he may get some followers here and there, but he can't do real preaching. He can't actually bring people to the lotus feet of Krishna. That cannot happen. If we are self-styled, self-appointed, guru of everyone. No. Who is real guru? Okay. One who follows is guru. Very nice. Who is real leader? Who is a good follower? That is a good leader. That is a real guru. One who follows others. So, but we cannot follow as long as we have faith on our own perceptions. We cannot follow anybody. If we have faith on our own perceptions, then we'll filter all the statements of others based on our perceptions. Oh, I like this. Yeah, ये अच्छा है. ये अच्छा नहीं है. ये follow नहीं करेंगे. This is not proper. So this is becomes a ardha kukkutanaya. We take only little portion what we like. Some people you see that they have no loyalty to anybody. So they say, हाँ हमको सब लोग अच्छे लगते हैं, सब अच्छे हैं. But then whom you follow? No, nobody I follow. I follow whosever statements are pleasing to my mind. That person I follow. So this way, progress cannot happen. This is where we cannot grow. So in order to preach, if one wants to become Shiksha Guru, actually one has to be very transparent, very selfless to change heart of others and give them the message of parampara, not our own message. It is very important that one gives the message of parampara which comes through spiritual master to others and not our own. So that's how it is very important. The main role of a preacher actually is that he should develop, if he really is preaching, or if he's really is trying to bring people in Krishna consciousness, his main role is that he should grow the faith of a person from his own perceptions to the verdicts given by Prabhupada, Guru and Parampara and Shastras. So that's the real preacher. Real preacher means he brings people at the lotus feet of Krishna. He brings people at the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. What do you mean by bring people at the lotus feet of Prabhupada? Is it that we take people and put people here under this altar? Rakho, be under lotus feet of Prabhupada. ये altar के नीचे खड़े रहो सब लोग. Is that thing? No. Means what? We get the people to have faith on Prabhupada, and we get the people to follow the instructions of Prabhupada, instructions of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. That's the real preacher. So this is the very important role of of a person who is a mentor, counselor or Shiksha Guru. This is his role, that he has to actually himself represent very properly the teachings of Prabhupada and Acharyas, and also he has to impart the same to others. That is real preaching. But that cannot happen unless and until we ourselves are getting rid of our own perceptions. Right? जब तक हम खुद ही perceptions में है, perceptions के कारण हमारा I think, I feel ये zone में जब तक है हम, till that time we cannot actually bring anybody, because we will also make others think also. I think it is not like this. What do you think? Arey, why you think? You accept the words of Guru and Sadhu and Shastra. You don't have to feel or think. Prabhupada used to say that just accept. Accept the Guru's words of Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. Arjuna was thinking before, but then he understood by thinking what is happening. I'm simply getting bewildered. I'm not coming to any conclusion. Simply vepatascha sharire me roma harshascha jayate. That's what is happening. But then when he surrendered to Krishna and he accepted Krishna's words, So in the beginning Arjun was telling, no, I will tell you Krishna. I will tell you philosophy. ऐसा नहीं करना चाहिए, वैसा करना चाहिए, ऐसा नहीं होता है, ऐसा होगा तो ऐसा होगा, this is not good, this is good, I will tell you Krishna. Krishna was just smiling. Yes बेटा बताओ, और बताओ. बाद में खुद ही कंफ्यूज हो गए, नहीं पता नहीं क्या करना चाहिए, फाइटिंग किया तो ये लोग मर जाएंगे, मेरे रिलेटिव्स मर जाएंगे, किसके साथ एंजॉय करूंगा, सिंफुल एक्शंस लगेंगे, नहीं फाइटिंग किया तो भी सिंफुल एक्शंस लगेंगे, बिकॉज मैं तो क्षत्रिय हूँ, मेरा ड्यूटी है फाइटिंग करना, क्या करूं. कृष्णा सेड, सो आर यू हैप्पी नाउ विथ योर ओन परसेप्शन. पहला बोला अशोचान अनशोचस्तम प्रज्ञावादार्श भाससे गतासु न गतासुश्च नानु शोचन्ति पंडिता. Prabhupada says in purport, Krishna called Arjun fool number 1. He said, you are talking like a big pandita. Krishna said to Arjun, you are a fool number 1. Actually you are thinking that you are a big pandita, you are giving big dharma shastra, niti shastra, ye wo. And then, so how Krishna begins preaching to Arjun, telling him that you are fool number 1. And then when Arjun understood, yes, I am a fool number 1, then he was very receptive to what Krishna was telling him. And then at the end, how do we understand that Arjun was transformed? Shishyasteham. So beginning me, and then at the end, Karishye Vachanam Tava. He said, Nashto Moha Smriti Labdha, Tat Prasadar Maya Nishchita, Sitosmi Gata Sandeha, Karishye Vachanam Tava. He says that Krishna, now all doubts are cleared, my all perceptions are gone. Now I will do what you say. So this is the real point of surrender. What is the symptom of surrender? Karishye Vachanam Tava. Some people say conclusion of Bhagavad Gita is Yathechasi Tata Kuru. Krishna bol rahe hai. This is the Krishna's conclusion. What is Krishna's conclusion? Yathechasi Tata Kuru. Aapko jo karna hai karo. But no, that is not the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita. That is Krishna's way of giving free will to living entity. But what is the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita? Karishye Vachanam Tava. What is that? Yeah, Sarvadharma Parityaja, same. I will do, Krishna, what you say, not what I feel like doing. That's what that is the real point of surrender. So so that's how it is very important in our life that we develop this strong faith. Actually, how do we go ahead now? We discuss so much. So how do we change our perceptions? So Prabhupada said once that if you just believe me that I have not come here to cheat you, you will make big deal of progress in your spiritual life. If you just believe this thing that I have not come here to cheat
voice. Prabhuji, your voice is not coming.
Voice is not coming? Hare Krishna.
Coming, yes, it's very voice is coming very low.
Hare Krishna. So Prabhupada said that if you just believe me, put faith on me that I have not come here to cheat you, I am your well-wisher, then you will make a big deal of progress in your spiritual life. Prabhupada said so. So first point is that we have to learn to develop faith on our acharyas, cultivate faith. How do we cultivate faith? By reading their books, hearing from them, hearing about them. Most importantly, by associating with those who have faith. Shraddhavan Jan. नित्यानंद प्रभु किनको बुला रहे? श्रद्धावान जन है. जो श्रद्धावान जन है उनका संग लेना चाहिए, जिससे हमारा भी फेथ स्ट्रांग हो जाएगा. अश्रद्धावान जनों का संग लेंगे तो हमारा भी फेथ चला जाएगा. इट विल ड्विंडल. श्रद्धावान लोगों का संग लेना चाहिए. ऑल्सो वी हैव टू लर्न टू do vichar on what we are reading and hearing, and understand things very thoroughly, very properly. We should not just take it as one of the ritual. What we are studying or reading, hearing, it should not be taken just as a ritual, but one should do mananam. Mananam means vichar on that. Vichar in the sense, not speculation, contemplation. We should not speculate, but we should do vichar. How is it so? How it is applicable to my life. In one lecture, Prabhupada says so, that when you hear the lecture, you should always think about what Swamiji said today. You should think about it. Tukaram Maharaj also says, Apalachi vada apanasi. We can also learn to converse with our own self. Dushta mana pratisthara tare nirjane raghare tava hari nama kevala kantava ore man bhalo nahi lage e sansar bhaja re mana Shri. This is conversing with whom? Oneself, one's own mind. So this is called as apalachi vada apanasi. We should converse with ourselves. Hey, foolish mind, what you are thinking? And get our doubts. It's also clarified by this thing devotees. So that's why we see Prabhupada's conversations are very powerful. I have been reading with this Nakul group, this Life Comes from Life. What a book! I have read it before in my college days, but again I am reading, Arey, kya book hai, I feel that book again we can read, again we can discuss. ऐसा concepts clear हो जाते हैं सारे, And when our concepts are clarified, when our doubts are finished, then nashto moha smriti labdha. When our illusion is smashed, then we develop a solid faith. Solid faith on the words of Guru and Krishna. And then, that helps us to overcome our perceptions of life. That helps. One simple example I can say in my life, that previously I was so much thinking about, this man-woman equality, and we generally have objection. Why these voice people don't allow women? They consider women to be less, it seems. They don't call women for the program. They call only boy and girl. Boys only. They say only restricted to boys. No Matajis are allowed. No girls are allowed. What is this? They don't like women, it seems, or they have some hatred feeling towards women. So, and generally we'll see an altar, no woman is there. Means within altar it is there, in pujari, among pujaris. और मंगल आरती कभी माता जी गाते नहीं मंदिर में, कभी भागवतम क्लास देते नहीं, hardly they give. So that means these people are like, they don't want to mix man and woman. Even in temple they say माता जी इधर बैठो, प्रभु जी इधर बैठो. So these people seem to be fanatic. I used to feel like all this. But then slowly, it was a tough to get it. But eventually I could understand, what Prabhupada is saying, correct, that, in one sense, in one purports, Prabhupada writes in first canto that the dignity of woman class is preserved by not allowing them to mix with men unrestrictedly. So that's why in Vedic time there used to be Anganwadi and Baharwadi, Antarwadi and Baharwadi, Antarwadi and Baharwadi. Antarwadi, Mataji would stay, Baharwadi, Prabhuji would stay together. Like that. So then I got convinced, yes, now what Prabhupada is saying, what ISKCON is saying is correct, that there should not be unrestricted mixing, free mixing between man and woman. That's not good. So we see like this, our perceptions would change when we start developing faith, strong faith on the words of Guru and Krishna, But for that we have to associate with people who have faith. And actually, our counselor or our Shiksha Guru, whoever is there, or mentor, that's what their job is. Actually, they are trying to develop our faith. But if we don't listen to them and we listen to our own mind, then there is no question of developing any faith on anybody. As long as we keep listening to our mind, we cannot develop faith on the superiors. Means we will develop, but then there is a long route. Long route is what we undergo problems in our life, then we understand. नहीं उन्होंने जो बोला था वही सही था. Unnecessary मैं अपना ही करा, अपने ही पुंगी बजा रहा हूँ. Because of that I am suffering myself. So that's a long route. So, but better we listen to our superiors, and by listening to superiors, they will, instill our faith on the words of, Shastras, on the words of Guru, on the words of Parampara, and by that, actually, we'll see that our
long acquired perceptions will start melting. Hmm. And we will get real Shastra Chakshu. And when we see things from spiritual viewpoint, we'll see that we'll be able to experience a totally different world. Hmm. Sometimes there is a even, this perception make us so they are created such that is like a mental cancer actually, these perceptions are. And they have created such a trouble in our life. When the Mataji, Sukha Vaha Mataji, Prabhupada disciple, she has written one book. What is that book? Art of Revealing Mind in Confidence. Some book is there. So she has written a very nice book. It is. I have not read personally, but Nam Prabhu told me it's an amazing book. Hmm. So that's all about this kind of thing only, perceptions. So she was giving seminar in Chowpatty temple once, and she was giving seminar on this book, and she said that let us do one practical, and she called one Mataji. She said, get up and come here, and she said, so tell me, whom you have anger towards. And she said, she said, my sister, I'm very angry at her. And she said, okay, now I will become your sister and you become you, and let us converse together. And then you tell me, what your anger is towards me. And this Mataji said, you always play, the songs very loudly. Why are you always playing? I am chanting. That time I get so much disturbed. What is this? This Mataji started practically shouting, And then Sukha Mataji said, I did not know that you are getting disturbed. You never told me. And he said, but this, that, as a conversation went on back and forth, back and forth. And at last, this Mataji started crying like anything in front of everyone. This is happening in temple hall. Everyone, and she started crying and she said, oh my God, how much I started hating my sister because of some small misunderstandings, some wrong perceptions I unnecessarily developed towards her. And then Sukhamata said, so what are you going to do now? I am going to make friendship with my sister again. And it was such a big transformation for her. It was such a big revelation, a disillusion. She was totally disillusioned. Arey, main kya kar rahi hu? I am hating my sister for nothing. Unnecessarily, I developed hatred towards my sister. Like that, she was thinking. So that's how. This is the way now. This Mataji, she practically did it. One practical sample she did in Chowpatty temple. Sukhavaha, Sukhavaha. So there is a nice book he has written. At least many devotees told me it's one of the best books. Very wonderful book he has written. She clarifies a lot of our this perception related issues. But you see, because of this hatred, who was burning? This Mataji who had developed hatred towards her sister. She was herself in so much pain, isn't it? So in this way, ultimately, so it is very important. That's why that we take forward steps to develop a strong faith on words of Guru, Acharyas, and scriptures, and we have to believe these things. As what Prabhupada said, we have to believe that Prabhupada has not come here to cheat us. Prabhupada, what business he had in cheating? He was an old man who was about to die in some years. What business he had in cheating people? What he is going to gain? So we have to believe that Prabhupada, what he is telling, he is not cheating me. He has come here to give me the real. Also, we have to believe healing.
Hare Krishna. Your voice went away.
Guru, Sadhu, Shastras are saying in this regard, and learn to accept their understandings. So that is called as Shastra Chakshu, and we develop that. So that can be developed by various techniques, which we discussed. One is that we should discuss with other devotees. Roji Prabhupada says like this, but I can't understand this, how it is. Even Arjun is discussing that, aparam bhavato janma. He says both of us are born together only. How do you say? How do I understand that you give this knowledge to your swan? So by discussing, then by associating with people of strong faith, by having solid mananam. May not be very prominently present, but it is there somewhere. Like sometimes we may say the person he's rebellious, but if we search our own heart, we'll see that I also have some rebellious tendencies. Right? Correct.
So, but it happens because I am not personally or verbally or like physically verbally committed something. But we think that okay, let me not inform that devotee I had this perception. This is how we should like if I commit some offense in the mind, like I'm not may not verbally or like how I can like or should I just pray to Krishna or like I should like as you said that we have to by Shastra structure you have to eliminate that. But offense has been committed. Why not?
Few things are there in this regards.
It's difficult like, to know that perception because every time the devotee comes, he has that same thing.
I got your question. Question is that many times we have some perception, we are not physically offending that devotee, but that perception is making us little distance from that devotee. So how do we deal it? One thing is that the most highest method of that is just believe the words of Guru and Krishna, and what our Guru is telling, don't find faults with others. Find fault with oneself. Don't find faults. This fault finding tendency is not good. So if we just believe it and we just follow it, that is the best method. But if that is becoming difficult, so we have to understand that Kali Yuga is the age of misunderstandings. So we should learn to clarify those misunderstandings. How? By asking that devotee directly sometimes, or by asking other devotees. So both methods can be applied. Like for example, suppose I have some perception towards you, I can ask Kadam Kanapur, what do you think about Yashwant Prabhu? They say, oh, wonderful, this, that, 100 glories he will tell. Oh, then I'll also understand. अरे मैं जो सोच रहा हूँ इतना insignificant है, इनके glories इतने ज्यादा है, इतना छोटा चीज के लिए क्यों पकड़ के रखने का? Like that we will think, छोड़ दो, like that. Or sometimes I can ask you directly, Yashwant Prabhu, why did you behave that day in this way? Any reason? I was little confused why your behavior was like this, how to understand your behavior. And he will say, no, it was like that, Prabhu. It was because of this, it happened this way. Like I can ask, Yashwant, that day you did not smile at me. Is it that you hate me? No, I don't hate you too. I love you so much. But then that day I was so anxiety ridden because of company. In company there was so much workload and so many problems came. So I was little disturbed. So that's why I was not smiling at anyone. It was not only towards you. Oh, thank you. I understood now. Dissolved that perception. So maybe all three are required, not only one. Because there are actually some anarthas maybe there in the front person. So that's why we have to learn to accept direct words of Guru and Krishna and Shastras, that better not overlook the faults of a devotee. Then we have to also clarify certain misunderstandings, like that. And if it is that we think that, oh, it was just in the mind and it is not a very serious issue, in general we have a lot of appreciation for that devotee, but there is a little bit of this, here and there. So we can just learn to just give it up. And if we say that previously we have committed some offense, then we can do some seva for him, or we glorify him publicly in front of everyone, or we render some seva to him, by which that mental offense is dissolved. Mental offenses are not considered in Kali Yuga much. They are not taken seriously by Providence. So that way we can do it. If possible, we can clarify. If not, then at least serve that devotee that way. So that will be once again.
Many times these perceptions are maybe due to fear, envy, insecurity. But apart from these also, we have and I have and we have the certain experiences of that person's act or activity that is done, and repeatedly we have this experience. And suppose some decision is there we have to take, and so we generally go to perception. Yeah, he will act like that. So that perception, predictions.
Correct.
So how we don't go to what is that? Offending mode and not to ignore him. We will not take negligence. So how to accept him? He is like that.
Very good question. This also. Um, is
Your voice.
that we have to separate management and personal life. We should not bring management. It is said, don't bring office into home. If the person in the home, if he shouts on the family members because of some disturbances in office, that is not acceptable, right? So management is little different. So sometimes in order to give some particular seva to some devotee, we will have to see what are his capacities, what are his these things. That is one thing. So, but on a personal life, we should not treat him in that way only. This is one thing. Then second thing is that, as I said that before, that we have to really work upon the statements given to us by our guru and acharyas, that don't find faults. Sometimes it so happens that some authorities may discuss with us in management meeting. Sometimes in management meeting some faults are discussed, right? We should not take them too seriously to our heart. I experienced it. Sometimes we used to have management meeting. Sometimes when we are in leadership position, sometimes our superior will tell, hey, no, he's a lazy fellow. Don't give him this seva. Suppose this is discussed. Then when we come out also, as we see him, lazy fellow. And ek do baar dikha bhi diya hai, dikh bhi gaya, lazy fellow. Arey Baba, but he has got 100 other good qualities. If you go to same authority and if you say, Ruji, overall, what do you think about this? He said, Arey, he is one of the best devotees in our voice. Arey, but कल तो आपने बोला कि lazy fellow. अरे एक छोटा सा fault है वो प्रभु, बाकी इतने हजारों good qualities है प्रभु. Laziness is one of the small things. I don't say that he is overall bad devotee. He is a very good devotee. But थोड़ा lazy है. तो इसलिए ये सेवा के लिए थोड़ा एकदम जो बहुत ही ज़्यादा active है ऐसे devotee चाहिए. इसलिए बोला. My God, what I was thinking. Whenever I was seeing him, I was saying that he's a lazy fellow. He's a lazy fellow. And yes, एक सेवा दिया वो किया भी नहीं उन्होंने. That means confirm lazy fellow. अरे, so that's why we have to directly accept the statements of this thing, and we have to clarify sometimes with devotees. And as far as you say that our experiences sometimes make also, so we have to also understand the fact that nobody is permanently a criminal. Nobody is a permanent, those faults are not permanent. People do change. Have you not seen people change? Have you not seen people change? So even in management, we have to understand this factor. In the Nakul group, what particular fault that devotee has should not be carried till he goes to Yudhishthir group also. Say that ऐसे ही इसको क्या कहते हैं? Naked penchu. Prabhupada used to give. Right? Naked penchu, you have heard? You have heard story of naked penchu? Once upon a time there was one penchu. It was Bhaktisaraj Thakur. He was there in a village. He's 3-4 years old. He used to wander naked in the village. His name was Penchu. So afterwards he grew up and this, that, and then some people came to know. Then the news came that he has become a High Court judge. And they said, the villagers said, no, it is not possible. He is a naked Penchu. They said, no, he is actually there. Dekho, photo dekho. No judge. Okay, even if he is become, but he must not be getting any salary there. How is it possible? He is just a naked Penchu. अरे वो बीत गया कब का अभी वो जज बन गया है you no more a naked Benchudo but like so we should not have this mentality so people do change so we should not say that this is a permanent disqualification for him. People are improving, people are changing, people are you know making themselves different, isn't it? So we have to learn to understand this. So in general, if a devotee carries a very positive and healthy attitude towards people, that will be beneficial for him only. When we see the moon, it is our choice whether we see his beauty or we see pod marks in him. If we see pod marks in him, then we cannot take advantage of wonderful moon is so nice, right? But we cannot take advantage if we just say, oh, it has got some pod marks. But if we see that okay, pod marks maybe they overlook that and see the moon itself, we will get so much benefit from the moon. Moon is so nice. It's so nice to wander in the moonlit, evenings. In cities we cannot experience. Cities there are different lights, but in village you see that when the moon is there, it's so nice. On the terrace, if we just wander when the moon is there in the sky, it immediately gives our mind such a peace and happiness, right? But if we just say, "Nahi, pod mark, chhod do." So like that. So when our experience says there may be little bit here and there with a devotee, but overall this devotee is not bad. He has got so many wonderful things. So more we focus on his good things, more we are benefited. More we focus on bad things, more we are bereft. So we develop that understanding. And as I said, that's better to clarify sometimes if it is required. Okay, here Ajay Pro is asking question. In work life, sometimes for things to get done properly, we need to find faults. So that what to do in such situations. So I just now answered that. That management and the personal life should be separated. Management, there is certain things to be done, and for that, sometimes the person who is in the post of manager. So that's why it is a very important. This is one of the biggest warning to the leader. So again, another incident I remember from this Transcendental Diary, wherein Harishwar is writing that one of the very prominent, personality, associate of Prabhupada, he had so many difficulties in his spiritual life, and he left Prabhupada's association for some time. Prabhupada was very much, one sense, internally he was very much affected. He was one of the biggest leaders, So then when he came back after some time, he said to Prabhupada, actually, I started molding my life, based on what people think of me to be, like that. But he said, I want to now practice spiritual life for what it is, not just based on what is people's thinking and what people, want to see. So I want to be really sincere in my spiritual life. He came back actually, and he said to Prabhupada that way. So Prabhupada was happy with that. So so he was telling, so one of the very important lesson he told, that a leader के लिए सबसे बड़ा warning क्या है? Don't keep the hat of leader always on your head. Very dangerous. Very dangerous. So that's why again same concept. Don't be in the office all the time. When you are at home, be at home. Don't be boss in home. Don't be try to be boss in home. In home, you should learn to be father, not a boss. In home, you should learn to be husband, not the boss. In the home, we should learn to be friend, not the boss. In home, we should learn to be a son, not the boss. But if all the time we think that I'm boss only, then there will be a problem in life. So I hope this answers Ajay Pro's questions, that we should learn to separate these two things. It is tough, I understand. It is not so easy, but we have to consciously do it still. Just because it is tough, we cannot give it up, because it is very important. So we have to consciously do it. Like that. So Sushmit Pro has read hand.
Sometimes in services, we don't like to do some services, or our nature does not suit with those services. Perception.
Yeah.
So is it right or wrong?
Both. Based on our level. Like same example, like book distribution, or Harinam Sankirtan. I have perception that nahi, ye raste pe nachna, this is not so good. I don't like it. So maybe at a neophyte stage, it's all right. ठीक है. You do karma yoga. Karma yoga means whatever you want to do. Yat karoshi yadasvasi yat dosi nadasi yat. Spiritual life can be practiced at this level also. What is that? Whatever you are doing, you do it for Krishna. That is karma yoga, right? आपको गाना अच्छा लगता है, चलो आप गाओ भगवान के लिए. आपको कुकिंग अच्छा लगता है, आप कुकिंग करो. आपको प्रीचिंग अच्छा लगता है, आप प्रीचिंग करो भगवान के लिए. So this is also all right, at least as the preliminary stage of spiritual life. But if we are progressing, when we progress, so that time we have to understand, अरे हरिनाम संकीर्तन जो है ठीक है, हम थोड़ा रास्ते पे नाच रहे, थोड़े लोग इधर उधर देख रहे. Let us not see it so much, but what is the benefit of this Harinam Sankirtan? I am getting mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Directly Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is blessing me, and I am becoming the part of delivering so many conditioned souls in this world. How do I deliver trees? How I deliver microorganisms? How I deliver animals? How I deliver the people who never come to temple? Harinam Sankirtan is a wonderful way. So if I participate in it, it will be very nice. I'll myself get so much mercy, and so many people will also. I'll be the part of that glorious mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So how wonderful it is. So let us give up little bit shame and all which I feel. Let us tolerate that shame which is coming. Let us do it. So that is better. So this is higher platform. So on a lower platform, we may like to do generally those things we are good at or we like to do. But on a higher platform, we do those things which are to be done, and not what we just like to do. So now this transition has got different steps. Maybe we can say different phases, because for certain service we can change perception easily, but for certain things it is little tough. So we can take some time. It does take time. We agree that it's not been one day. It is not that we can do all the services with equal enthusiasm. That is not possible. It will take years sometimes, but at least we should be in the process of changing our perceptions. We should not develop at least hostility towards those things. No one should develop hostility towards book distribution. Just because I can't do book distribution very well, or it is not my choice of service, I cannot say book distribution is useless. No, Prabhupada has said, Prabhupada likes it. Prabhupada says, if you want to please me, distribute my books. How can I say that distribution is useless? Or just because I don't like, Harinam Sankirtan, I should not say that Harinam Sankirtan is useless. It is not such an important thing. No. So what should be our perception? Harinam Sankirtan is undoubtedly important. It is such an important thing. But somehow or other, I have little reservations due to my own fallen conditions. It is my own fallen nature that I am not able to fully participate. But I wish one day I would be able to, very happily participate in Harinam Sankirtan. At least as on the order of my authorities, I will go. At least once in a week, I will go. When my authorities are told, just to develop taste for it. So, and then eventually some taste will develop. Or for example, I may not have so much taste for book distribution. At least in marathon, maybe whole year I may not be able to distribute books because I am so fallen. I am so like burden. But at least, okay, at least take me one step. That at least in marathon, at least for एक हफ्ता जाऊंगा book distribution. Or if even that is difficult, at least जीवदया में जाके थोड़ा सेवा करता हूँ. उधर book counting का सेवा करता हूँ. So that I can assist in book distribution in some way. But I should not have this concept that book distribution is useless. How can we say it is useless? It is given by Prabhupada himself, isn't it? Similarly, book reading is there. Yeah, one may say that, oh, I am not so habituated to book reading. Okay, at least I will follow sadhana quota. Sadhana quota में जितना ये उतना करता हूँ. As a austerity, I do it. It is the austerity for me to read books. But because my superiors have told me, Radhesham Prabhu has told me to read 3.5 hours every day, so I'll read it for his pleasure. At least I try to read it, some words. Maybe it is not my personal choice, but still I'll do it because it is good. I cannot say that no, book reading is not, I don't like it, so I don't want to do it. That means to karma yoga. We are on a neophyte stage of Krishna consciousness. Yeah, Bhimraj Prabhu.
We should know that his faults are there, and it may go eventually from Nakul to this like that. But Ji, in that sense, in between the stage, that thing is continuing happening. It pins us every time it happens. And as you told that we should reveal our heart, but we may find that if we reveal directly what we are, that is pinching us, what other person's behavior is pinching us, we may feel that he may feel hurt. उनको लगेगा कि अरे for small thing he is telling us like this.
That's why is also very important. Right questions.
Keys of counseling. It is one of the key of dealings. We should learn to formulate our questions properly. So, and if we cannot ourselves directly deal, then we can have a one medium. With that, some devotee, some of his friend and our friend, common friend they call, outside circle, common friend, mutual friend. So we can have some mutual friend who can do some. You can say, प्रभु जी मुझे ना इनका वो बहुत अच्छा नहीं लगता, आप जरा उनके बताएंगे क्या? ठीक है मैं जाके बताता हूँ. I have played that role so many times. All the time I had to play. Where I had to play that role. वो उनका चाहे जाके उनको बताना पड़ता है. तो जी ऐसा ऐसा है, उनको इसका बुरा लगा है. हाँ क्या ऐसा क्यों बुरा लगा, ऐसा ऐसा होगा, हाँ नहीं ऐसा ऐसा है. एक म्यूचुअल फ्रेंड भी कभी कभी हेल्प्स, और समटाइम्स जस्ट नेग्लेक्ट इट. अरे कुछ तो सॉल्यूशन देना पड़ेगा ना, कुछ तो सॉल्यूशन देना पड़ेगा. If this is also not possible, that is also not possible, that is also not possible, this is also not, then what is possible? Then do what is not possible. You have to do sometimes impossible things also in life. Of course, I agree that at times the solution is time. Time is also the solution. Just let some time go. Continue your devotional service. Let him continue his devotional service. And time also heals lots of things. That is also there. But that could not be always the solution. That is like an occasional solution. That should not be always solution. कि किसी के साथ झगड़ा करो और बोलो कि ठीक है, let the time pass. Not, it is not that, because what will happen internally, our that quarreling mentality will keep on growing. If we do not do either of these three things, either see that devotee's good qualities, or we directly clarify with him, or get it clarified to other person, we just leave it on time, eventually what will happen, our quarrel tendency will not go. वो थोड़ा relationship उनके साथ शायद ठीक हो जाएगा, अपना जो tendency है quarreling का वो नहीं जाएगा उससे. So that's why that is the worst of all solutions, I can say. But these three are better solutions. Neglect it either and see that no, he is after all a very good Vaishnava. So many good qualities, list of good qualities are there, right? Within him. So don't let us not just overlook that small thing. एक ही बार, sometimes we say कि इनके साथ एक दो बार झगड़ा हुआ प्रभु जी, we become so ultra sensitive. अरे 10 बार उन्होंने आपके लिए इतना अच्छा चीज किया, वो नहीं देखते पहले किया नहीं है क्या? जब आप बीमार थे तो आपको डॉक्टर के पास लेके गए, जब आपको स्टडी में हेल्प चाहिए था उन्होंने आके स्टडी हेल्प किया. आप जब हॉस्टल में थे तो कोई नहीं था आपके लिए, तो ये आके आपको प्रसाद देते थे. Isn't it? But condition source nature is, एक कुछ तो गड़बड़ हुआ रिलेशनशिप में, उसको ही पकड़ के रखते, और हजार इतने चीजें अच्छी की है उसने, वो नहीं देखते. That is the biggest fault we have amongst for Vaishnavas. That one little wrong behavior he does with us, we magnify it so much, and so many good things he has done for us before, but that we don't want to see. We neglect that thing. अरे कितना किया उन्होंने मेरे लिए. So this is one of the most unfortunate situation of condition. So we have to learn to rectify that mentality actually.
Is it then okay that if you directly tell, sometimes because mistake in one thing that, but some small things that which may not be seemingly for others, but as you tell, perception of that devotee. If someone raises from that, he personally feels disturbed.
In general, small things should be neglected. Best is repetitive mistakes can be clarified either by ourselves. So if you are saying that, is it okay that we go and directly talk to him? Okay, but I again say that we should learn to properly ask. We should ask not in the mood of superiority. We should ask in the humble, gentle mood. That प्रभु जी आपका जो behavior है ना, थोड़ा समझ में नहीं आ रहा है, ऐसे कैसे समझेगा? आप हमेशा थोड़े दरवाजा बहुत जोर से ये करते हैं, ये थोड़ा कभी कभी थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम होता है गुरु जी। आप बहुत अच्छे वक्त है, बट थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम होता है मुझे, क्या है थोड़ा कान ज्यादा सेंसिटिव है, तो थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम होता है गुरु जी। कैन यू टेल? and he will say, oh, okay, sorry, I was, actually I was in hurry that day, so I just forgot. But if you say, क्यों आप दरवाजा ऐसा हमेशा करते हैं, समझता नहीं क्या? आपको क्लास में सुना नहीं क्या राधेश्याम गुरु के उस दिन? तो आप वापस मेरे पास आएंगे, प्रभु जी आपने बोला था ना डायरेक्ट बात कर सकते हैं करके। ये ऐसा बात नहीं कर रहा है डायरेक्ट बाबा। So we should learn first of all way to talk, gentlemanly way of talking. We have to learn, then directly when we talked also. But I do agree that even I fall short on this many times. So I am just telling the concept. I had to myself follow it also. Sometimes I am able to do it properly. Sometimes I also am not able to do it properly. So we do grow through our mistakes. That is also there. We cannot be perfect in the beginning itself, but we have to understand the right concepts. That is very important thing. Okay, so I think it's quite late.
One question
one
can I
last.
ask? Yes, sir.
We have to tell other devotees that he can get mutual friendship. Sometimes it happens we have to hear that whatever things are there. So he is telling about that devotee. So that is not means again our.
No, he is telling negative things or positive things.
He has some problem with that devotee.
He also has that problem. Then how he is not a right person then to approach.
You told mutual friends.
No, then no. Mutual friends means who has got a positive outlook towards that devotee. He will see positively and do that. That's why that mutual friend has to be mature also. What is that mutual friend? If he comes and tells you, say, Proji, I have problem. अरे वो वैसे ही है, मैं आपको और 10 चीजें बताता हूँ, आपको तो एक ही चीज है, मैं और 10 चीजें बताऊंगा आपको। वो क्या जाके उसके साथ we want a mediator, not a person who will spoil the things further. ऐसा आदमी नहीं चाहिए कि जो और बिगड़ाएगा चीजें। he should uplift us. He should make our relationship better, not that he spoils further. That is not a mutual friend. That is a mutual enemy. वो क्या friend है क्या mutual? It's not a mutual friend. Anyway, we'll stop here. Hare Krishna.
Now the time is, I think, quite a lot. We exceeded our time a lot. Maybe I can talk personally with Rohit.
Lot of perceptions.
Huh?
Lot of perceptions.
Yugal Milan Pro, any comments? He has gone only. Okay. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.
काय संपलं आवाज एकदम म्यूट करते आणि आवाज कर